I always liked languages. I was always interested in different languages since I remember, since childhood, since I was maybe a few years old. Also, the reason for that probably was because I grew up in, well, I could say even multilingual family, because yes, I was born, okay, I was born in somewhere else actually. I grew up in Latgale, which is a separate region in Latvia, where we have, well, there are scientists, linguists still can decide if it's a dialect or a separate language. And if I talk about that, there are some languages which are more, what was this, mutually intelligible, something like that. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't remember precisely these words. So there are some languages where these languages are different languages, separate languages, but these people from these separate languages still can understand each other, and they are more closer to each other than Latgalian to Latvian. So basically, Latvian person can somewhat understand Latgalian, but it also depends, and some people do not understand, or they understand some words, but they cannot really understand completely. My personal opinion, only because there are languages which are separate languages, and these languages are, yes, closer. As I said before, my opinion is that Latgalian is a separate language. I don't care what other people think, that yes, it is considered a dialect. I disagree. You can disagree also with me. I don't care. I have my personal opinion, how I see it. I think it is a different language, especially because there is no one standard Latgalian. Because, well, if a dialect have dialects, then how it makes sense? I mean, in different regions of Latgale there are some different things in Latgalian, so it's not the same everywhere. So for me, it feels like a dialect cannot have dialects. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what dialect of dialect, in what if these dialects also have dialects and another, no. So yes, and so these things were also Latvian and of course Russian. And then also I found out that there is Lithuanian, because we were not very far from Lithuania, which is kind of close to Latvian, and also as for Latgalians, we had some kind of these similarities. And we had Lithuanian TV, even sometimes available somehow. Radio, especially radio. Oh my god, radio! I really liked radio. This was my internet back then. I like to change the stations to listen to something new, for a new language, actually, for different languages. So I was also almost interested in this stuff. Well, of course, English at some point in my life, because of music. We had, well, we didn't have a lot of, like, there were some limitations on music which you could listen in the 80s, in the Soviet Union, basically. And what was the first crazy thing I did when I learned to read was looking for different languages in different books. So I don't really, well, maybe I do want to make this video long, but at the same time I don't want to make this video too long. But there is but. I can feel like, despite that having this huge interest at the same time, I never had patience to really learn a language, like, I don't know, like every day for hours. It's sometimes I can do this, but I cannot do it all the time, which is very important. Because if I learn for like some kind of language for months, 2 or 3, and then I stop it, and maybe return to that after 3 years or something, so you see, it will never work. And also, what I have to say is that I am definitely not perfect even in my native language, I still have this Latgalian accent. I will always have it because this Latgalian was my first language, and when I speak Latvian, it will always sound different for regular Latvian people. Also about Russian language, while it is my second native language, I can say I really understand it very well, but I still have accent when I speak it. So basically, I have accent in any language I speak, even in my native language. And with Russian language, there is also another thing. I think I am fluent. I have no absolutely problems, but there is only one problem. I cannot write. I mean, I can if I really try hard, but that's too much effort for me. I can read, no problems. Writing, it is much harder. I know all the letters and everything, yes, but it takes so much time for me if I have to write something on a keyboard, for example. It will be for me faster to write it in English than Russian, even if I know Russian better than English. Also, about my English. My English at this point is on a top level for me. I mean, what I learned, how I learned English, that's maximum. I will not get better. And while there are still very often, I have sometimes comments that, oh wow, my English is so bad. Yes, because of accent. And I don't think my English is bad. Can it be better? Well, it can be better, but for somebody else, not for me. For me, it cannot be better. I must. No, I mean, of course, it is far from being really good or perfect. But I cannot do it better. I just can't. That's a limit. That's a limit. What I am trying to say is that I wanted to be better in languages, but I am not, and apparently I cannot. That's how it is. That's the maximum. But I still do enjoy different languages, and I still try to learn them. So I am still working on my Spanish and German since, I don't know, maybe more than 30 years. Yes, I learned Spanish and German more than 30 years. Can I communicate in these languages? No, and probably I never will. Can I understand? I can understand to some extent. I cannot understand everything, but if I really have to, and there's, for example, some kind of video in German or in Spanish, I can understand it. Maybe not, well, not maybe, not 100%, not 100%. But if I have to, if there is a situation, some kind of situation where I have no absolutely choice, and I will be even able somewhat to communicate. And there are another two languages actually, which I didn't really learn a lot. Well, I did a little bit, but also I can say that I am able to some extent communicate in these languages or understand. It's Lithuanian and Polish. Lithuanian, obviously, yes. Polish also I learned to understand it. And when I was in Poland, actually, I managed to communicate with Polish people who didn't understood Russian or English. Basically, they didn't know any other language than Polish. So I somehow managed. So yeah, Finnish, the language which I always wanted to learn, and I don't know if the grammar is the main problem. Actually, if I tried hard enough, I would be able, of course, to learn. There are so many things which are so easy for me. The way how you pronounce most of the letters and everything are very close, actually. Yes, some letters do sound different. There are some few which are harder for me to pronounce, but mostly it's easy. And also, thing with cases, Latvian also have quite a good amount of cases, less than Finnish, yes, but still, so I am familiar with cases, what cases, and other things. So, yes, if I really wanted to, I may, I mean, I don't know, I feel like I really want, but I'm too lazy, or I don't know what. Yes, it takes time. To learn language takes time. And even if I can say learning languages is my hobby, but I also have some other hobbies. I have life, I have some responsibilities, I have stuff, other stuff. So sometimes there is not enough time or energy or whatever to do that. But despite that, I accepted it. This is what I understand now, and I accepted that I will not learn these languages. But does it mean that I have to stop and not try? I don't think so, because learning a language, okay, let's say you cannot be fluent in this language, but it is still some kind of like, it is good for your brain anyway. Memorizing all these things, it is still good, it is still interesting, and it is still kind of enjoyable. So I am still doing it, and to show you my progress at the moment is, yes, yeah, sometimes I skip a day. But otherwise, yes, I really am trying to do this every day, at least something, but sometimes I just do these stories, because, well, so this is how far I am in German at the moment. And I cannot really, I know I will never finish it. I will never finish it. But I am also interested in other languages. I cannot do the same thing. What else do I have here? German. So what about my Spanish? So this is how far I am in Spanish. I will never finish it. Also. And another language I'm doing is Finnish. I finished it because there is only 2 sections. So yes, I managed to complete the Finnish part on Duolingo, only because it is so short. Can I speak Finnish? No, of course not. But also, I have this idea, I don't know, for me, at least it sounds interesting for me, I don't know if it is interesting for anybody else. I will check all languages on Duolingo. This is my update, actually. Yeah, thanks for watching and goodbye.